Good evening. Welcome to KQED Newsroom. I'm Scott Schaefer. Tui Vu is away this week. The battle for City College of San Francisco to maintain its accreditation is heating up. Today, protesters staged a rally and attended a meeting of the Accreditation Commission in downtown Sacramento. The fight has mobilized state and federal politicians, local leaders, faculty, and students to keep the largest college in California from essentially shutting its doors.
It's just about the word in this college, community. Community is what this is about.
Nearly 2 years ago, the Accrediting Commission of Community and Junior Colleges ordered a number of reforms to address concerns over financial management and academic quality. Now, school administrators say they've achieved 95% of the reforms, but need more time. That issue is whether a fast-approaching July 31st deadline can be extended. But a lawsuit filed by San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera will prevent the school from closure for at least a few months. A short time ago, I spoke with Killa Kelly, professor of political science at City College, about what happened earlier today in Sacramento. Professor Killa Kelly, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Paint a picture for us of what happened today at the state capitol.
Well, actually at the Citizen Hotel in Sacramento, the ACCJC, which is the Accreditation Commission for the Community Colleges in California, had their semi-annual meeting. And as you may know, they have put in a decision last year to disaccredit City College as of July 31st, 2014. We went there today, a rally of about 250 people from all around the state, maybe about half from San Francisco, demanding that they rescind last year's decision, that they send a team immediately to City College to show that our college is in substantial compliance with accreditation standards. And so we went there making those demands of the commission.
You went into the public hearing portion of this of the hearing, and it was only about 15 minutes for public comments. City College wasn't even on the agenda for this 3-day meeting. What did you say in that short time that you had?
Well, it went a little bit longer than 15 minutes, about 20 minutes altogether. And I personally was trying to talk to the commissioners themselves. It is clear that the problem is the Accreditation Commission's leadership. They are simply out of control. They have made outrageous decisions. And I was basically making an appeal to them, saying to them that they needed to make sure that they clean their own house, that they make sure that the commission actually follows its own rules, and told them that this was their opportunity to go down a different path, a more reasonable path, a path that would not close down a college of 80,000 people because of issues of governance or finance or these kind of issues. The quality of education has never been an issue in this, and we just are letting them know that they need to stand up and get their own leadership under control, and that's what my message was, and the message of a lot of other people there too.
And as you know, many political officials have gotten involved, Nancy Pelosi, Senator Mark Leno, and many others. You're a political science professor. What do you make of the politics of all this?
I'm actually shocked that the ACCJC continues to be so intransigent. You would think that they would be getting the message over and over again that they need to change course, but that has not happened as of yet. And thank God for Dennis Herrera and the lawsuit that he has, because the college is open. It will remain accredited. There will be a trial. The trial is scheduled for late October now. And so the college is open and accredited. I want everybody to know that. So keep coming to City College. You get a great education there.
And then just very, very quickly, what impact is it having on teachers? Really quickly, please.
Oh, the morale of teachers is so low. People are so frustrated. There is like this uncertainty that hangs over all the students, the faculty, and the staff. And the uncertainty needs to end. And I basically told them that if they don't end their uncertainty themselves, that what's going to happen is the community and those who represent the community are going to have to do something about it, because it's really unconscionable that they would close down City College of San Francisco.
All right, Professor Killa Kelly, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very, very much, and I appreciate you having me.
You bet. And joining us now in studio, Larry Kamer, City College spokesperson, Raphael Mandelman, a member of the City College Board of Trustees, And Nanette Asimov, San Francisco Chronicle reporter. We did, by the way, invite the Accrediting Commission to join us, but they declined. Nanette, let me begin with you. As we've heard lots going on this week, where do things stand right now?
Well, it is a very pivotal moment for City College, with less than 2 months until the official end of the accreditation, the revocation date. Parties that have been bickering for the last 2 years, groups have finally come together with a common goal, not just to save City College, but to get the Accrediting Commission to extend the deadline and let City College finish the work that it's been working on for 2 years.
And when you say groups have come together, do you mean like?
Faculty, politicians, Congress, Mayor Ed Lee, the leadership of the state.
So they've got a common enemy.
They've got a common enemy now. That's right, and it's the Accrediting Commission. And the Accrediting Commission is holding firm to this idea that they cannot extend the deadline for City College. Despite the fact that the U.S. Department of Education accrediting experts, directors, told me and told the state that they may do this, that they're allowed to extend the deadline.
Well, Larry Kramer, let me ask you, or Raphael, how much more time do you need? Because we're hearing that you're 95% of the way there. 1 week, 5 weeks, 2 months, how long?
We think that that probably another year gets us over the top. But what we're asking the commission to do...
Well, let me just stop you there, because you're saying you're 95% of the way
That's
there.
Right.
You need another year to go the last 5.
We want to be sure, first of all, I'd focus on the 95% that has been complete. This is a massively changed institution for the better because of the efforts of everyone in the City College community, faculty, staff, administration, great support from the state, great support from City Hall, Dennis Herrera, and others. This is the document that we submitted to the Accreditation Commission this week when the Chancellor of City College and the Chancellor of the Community Colleges of California came in to talk about our progress. 103 pages of documentation that adds up to that 95% of the standards that have now been met.
So is it fair to say that the school in some ways is better off because of this warning and because of this threat to its accreditation?
I'm not sure that's fair to say. I mean, I think the school in many ways is in a better position. I think that some of the pretty serious problems that were identified, through this process needed to be fixed, and the state chancellor's office, to their credit, and the special trustee have moved to address some of those problems. In that process, a host of new problems have been created. So, for example, the fear that City College would close has precipitated a radical decline in enrollment, which has significant implications for the college's finances. So, for every problem that the folks at the college have fixed, there are new issues that have been created by the way the ACCJC operates. I think it is probably fair that if they came and took a look, they might find some new issues that need to get solved.
Now, give us a sense of who are these folks? Because they're based up in Novato. They're a regional body. Who appoints them? Who are they accountable to?
Well, there's 19 of them, and they call themselves a peer agency for accrediting. And so the colleges themselves appoint these members of the commission, and they're paid by dues. So they are oddly a private agency, but they are overseen by the U.S. Department of Education, and they get no federal money or state money. They are paid by the colleges, which is actually state money. Right. And so it's very possible. Now, the outspoken leader or president of the commission is Barbara Bino, who does not vote, and she has been adamant about not extending the deadline, she's very policy oriented, and she says that this is what, they're not even going to go back and reevaluate the college. They're relying on a 14-month-old evaluation, and they want to close the college on that basis.
So why are they so, would you say, just resistant to even consider? It seems like, why would they want to shut down an institution? Wouldn't they rather see it be healed and fixed and allow the students to continue going there?
Well, the regional accreditation process, has worked well. That's part of the difficulty here, is that we're dealing with a very peculiar situation that, as Raphael and others have said, has really cast put a cloud over City College. Morale is low and so on.
How much has the student population dropped by, do you know?
Well, we know that our high water mark was about 80,000 students. We're below that now. We are in the process of doing very aggressive marketing to get people to understand the value and appreciate the value of a city college education, which they can see at ccsf.edu.
High water was actually above 100,000, and we may be below 70,000.
That's right.
So there's.
And let me ask you a question. You were elected.
I was.
As a in 2012, I think.
Yeah.
And yet the board has had its power taken away by the trustee, the special trustee.
Right.
So how does that work? How can an election essentially be invalidated?
It doesn't feel very American. It doesn't feel very right. Certainly to me, 90,000 San Franciscans said that I should be, playing a role in making decisions for City College, and I'm not now. And I think that's a problem. And over the last year, I think that their decision making could have been better with the involvement of a locally elected board. I hope that going forward, the state chancellor and the board of governors are going to take a look at re-engaging with the locally elected board.
Nanette, is it fair to say, these problems have existed for many, many years, and you could say decades.
It's true.
So how did it get, and Larry, I'll let you respond to this as well, but what does the college say? What's your impression of how it was allowed to fester for so long?
There were a great deal of distractions in recent years. The college itself had, leadership had trouble with the law, some of it, several years ago. And
just say briefly what that was.
Okay, that there was a problem of
There was a
money
misuse of funds
laundering. There was a
in an
misuse of
election.
funds in
Right.
an election, exactly. And so at a time, in fact, this was right around 2006 when the Accrediting Commission was first looking at the college. They are reevaluated every 6 years. And at a time when the commission told the college, look, you need to make these changes, their chancellor in 2006 was occupied with with legal problems.
And I would just say, one of the things that the commission says is that in 2006 they started warning the college that it was out of compliance with standards. That is flatly untrue. And in 2006 the college was complying with standards, and there weren't problems festering, at least according to the commission at that time. City College was a model institution. And at some point between 2006 and 2012, clearly some things went wrong.
Well, I think it's worth pointing out that there have been independent financial evaluations of City College that do point to extremely poor fiscal controls that had to have been years in the making. And they were so out of touch with the way other colleges do things that it's hard to say that it was just a last minute.
But none of those identified by the Accrediting Commission. Those were identified by the state chancellor's office. And fixing those is important.
And FICMET, which is a fiscal oversight.
It's a fiscal agency.
Fiscal agency that looks in, helps.
And important to fix, but not part of what got the college in trouble with accreditation.
Yeah. Let me just skip to this lawsuit that the city attorney, Dennis Herrera, has filed. It's kind of postponed the day of doom in terms of accreditation, but what is the allegation in the lawsuit?
That the commission didn't follow its own rules, and that the cost of pulling the plug, which is what they seem intent to do, will have a devastating effect on 80,000 students, 3,000 people who work there, and most importantly, a community that depends on City College for education, training, learning English, things that make San Francisco a great community. And
in that, there's also allegations of conflicts of interest, right?
That's right. And this is because the president of the commission, her husband served on the evaluation commission in 2012, I believe, that went in to check out the college in the first place. And even the U.S. Department of Education said, look, Accrediting Commission, you can't do that. You can't have the husband of somebody checking out the college.
And what is the best case scenario in terms of that lawsuit? Can it really keep the doors open? How far can it go in undoing what the commission has done?
I'll defer to the lawyer on the panel about the lawsuit, but what I'll say is the best case scenario is we continue to fix our problems and we keep our accreditation. That's the best case scenario. The lawsuit is helpful in buying us additional time, and it speaks to the unity of the kind of city community, the elected community, all in support of City College.
And it's worth pointing out that when Dennis Herrera filed that lawsuit, it was not universally welcomed by the political community. Right. But it may turn out to be the thing that keeps City College open for the time it needs to solve its problems and stay open.
And can I mention one other quick thing? Today, the Commission took an action that appears to have extended or it appears to have changed the termination rules for accreditation. We have no idea what that is. We asked for a copy of that document. We didn't get it. We'd like to know, because City College, the State Chancellor's Office, the Mayor's Office had nothing to do with it. So we really are kind of curious to find out what's going on at the Commission itself.
Meanwhile, lots of students and faculty pretty much in limbo.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the coming months or so. Nanette Asimov, Rafael Mandelman, and Larry Kamer, thank you all very much. Good luck.